You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. Welcome to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. I'm your host, Brandy Williams, here with another update for the week ahead. Better late than never. I didn't know I was going to make it today, but I'm here. I had a lot going on. Enough about me. We're going to get into the forecast for the week ahead. So, April 27th started our week off with the new moon in Taurus at about 2:37 p.m. Central Time. So adjust for your time. And if you've been listening for a while, you know the spiel. New moons are always about planting seeds, setting intentions in the soil of whatever sign it's in. So a new moon in Taurus is all about feeling our way into something, embodying something in a very grounded and practical way. And in order to do that, that takes some stillness and a little quiet time and a little bit of slowing down so that we could actually feel our ways into something and paying attention to what our bodies are telling us about a certain situation. So the day before, this past Saturday, we had that Mars and Leo and Pluto and Aquarius opposition, and that brought us to some type of culmination point, a crossroads. May have been faced with a decision, perhaps some sort of ending or some sort of pivot or change that needed to happen. And on the day of the new moon, which was yesterday, we could have felt like our bodies or our five senses were telling us something and communicating something. There's just something that we can't do anymore if we didn't make a decision, but we may have felt pull to one, or just this really strong urge that something's not working anymore. When we woke up that next day on the day of the full moon, we probably were feeling like, I just can't do this anymore. And so that could have been a certain kind of eating habit or some kind of behavior, a relationship, or being a part of an organization or some kind of creative venture. There's just something that we woke up with, like, I don't want to do this. It felt like dread. I can't do this. It feels yuck in my body. And that feeling is definitely connected to this Pluto and Mars opposition. So there is something that can't go with us to the next level, no matter how much we feel like we need to hold on to it or we're attached to it. And now we're feeling that in our physical bodies. So there's just something that maybe we've been trying to override and it just feels like shit. It's no longer sustainable. So this new moon's question of intention could be, now that I know what I have to drop or what I had to drop, how do I build, grow, and sustain something that I initiated in Aries season or last November? How do I create a new daily routine that includes my hard work and my soft life? Because I can't no longer drudge it up the hill anymore. I can't do this hustling thing anymore. I'm tired. I'm physically exhausted. I'm burnt out. The ruler of the new moon, being Venus, is in Pisces currently. And Venus in Pisces, she's in her exaltation. She's all about the softness and spiritual balance when she's in Pisces. And she's been sitting with Saturn, who has been in Pisces for a very long time, for the entire month of April. So Saturn is giving her this elderly wisdom. This could be like an elderly grandmother or just some kind of crone wisdom. Like I usually say that Saturn is like the wizardly grandfather, but sometimes Saturn comes to me in a very feminine type of way. So this could be like the grandmother's wisdom and really talking to Venus about her values and how she values herself and what is she doing with her money and why is she still hanging with these certain people? Why is she still in this certain situation? Take a deeper look at your own self-worth and all the things that you said you wanted and to see, do those things really line up with each other? So Saturn is really requiring us to take a serious look at our own self-worth, the things that we say we value, our motivations to do the things that we say we want to do, and how that affects our money, our time, the relationships we choose to be in, and the people that we give access to our energy. So Venus has also been conjunct the North Node in Pisces, and the North Node is our fated destiny and, kind of telling us like where we are headed towards. So the North Node is really showing Venus the new path, showing us the new pathways, new opportunities, and what is waiting for us if we choose to honor this wisdom and really pay attention to the hard lessons that we've been receiving so that we could make some good decisions about our future and the ones that feel very aligned. So, with that being said, this new moon, along with this Pluto and Mars opposition, could bring some really hard goodbyes, some things that feel hard to release as we move on without something or someone, but also some glimmers of hope and optimism because we can really feel some energy freed up as we make a certain decision or as we think about making this certain decision if we haven't done so yet, and just really making room for abundance to flood in into our lives. Then it's pretty quiet for a few days, nothing going on today. And then we hop over to Wednesday, April 30th. Venus is going to re enter the sign of Aries. Venus was retrograde, receiving many lessons, receiving a lot of wisdom, and she had to go back in Pisces to review some things and redo some things. And now she's going to go back in the sign of Aries, full of energy, bossed up. She's ready to go. She's ready to redo something. She's ready to begin something new, or just give something, a new look that she's already been initiating or doing. So she's got this cosmic makeover, new wisdom, heart mended, our heart still broken, vision fixed. But we healing, right? Old habits expired, new routines implemented, skin clear, hair thriving, ready to go, ready to make new moves, new hairdo, whatever, taking action and in her exile, but also probably coming in to fight for somebody or fight for a cause because Aries is the energy of fighting. So perhaps we are feeling inclined to take a stand for something, coming together with others to fight for the injustices that are taking place with a lot of people in this country and around the world. And Venus in Aries has us wanting to do something that feels good to our own nervous system, something that sets us on fire. And, we're just ready to get back out there with just this new outlook. And then that is all for the month of April. We are headed into a new month, the month of May. I think May might bring some good stuff. Like May might be good energy, and we'll just kind of walk that path and let it unfold week by week. But as soon as Venus comes into the sign of Aries a few days later on May 2nd, Venus is going to conjunct Neptune, who is recently entered Aries. And this is going to be the first time in our lifetimes that we have a Venus and Neptune conjunction in the sign of Aries at about 1:06 p.m. This is taking place at 1 degree and 8 minutes of Aries. And so Venus has just left her grandmother's house or grandfather, Saturn. She's been at grandma's house all April and really getting a lot of wisdom and just really unlearning a lot of the ways that we were thinking about our own self-worth and the people that we were attracting because of that, and just a lot of lessons to learn. Now that she's back into the fire, Venus is trying to initiate something or is planning to initiate something with more clarity and an authentic sense of self, more self-acceptance and more worth. And she knows that she brought the table. Okay. So she's not really asking once again. She's like, okay, I had to fix myself, had to fix my vision, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Venus and Aries. Okay. So, feeling kind of good about this. I mean, this is a good start to May. This is a very good, dreamy transit when Neptune and Venus get together. I think that this is a sign that we are and could be feeling really ready to collaborate with spirit. Now we've been through some things. We're like, you know what? I can't do this without my higher power. If I thought I was doing this without my higher power, I must have been tripping. Of course, I need you, God. Of course, I need you, higher self. So, this is really a romantic and creative energy, bringing just a really sensual start to the month, letting it be soft yet energized because we hype with, that Aries energy, stepping out of toxic independence, asking for help and helping others, taking a stand, fighting for someone. But with Neptune in the mix, things can be a little delusional. You might think you could fly or you really think you're in a Disney movie, but you're not. I've been on the wicked train real heavy. And, I feel like I could defy gravity too, girl. But this feet off the ground energy is not always a bad thing. I feel like most people who are rich and successful are also delusional to some point. I mean, because you got to believe something that you can't see so that you can manifest it into this reality. Okay. So, that's what the law of attraction is about. Little delulu. So we can bring that thing into the real world because we don't have it yet, but we can see it in our minds. Okay. So this is a day where we can feel a lot of courage and a lot of empowerment, enthusiasm, just motivated to do something amazing. So this could be fresh new ideas that we want to initiate, collaborations with, your bestie, business partner, dynamic duo like me and my sisters. And, just also receiving some spiritual guidance and some spiritual downloads. So pay attention to those dreams because a lot of little gems get dropped in the dreams. So write them down. And then our last transit I want to talk about for the week, May 4th, Pluto is going to station retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, happening at about 11:27 a.m. at about 3 degrees and 49 minutes of Aquarius, and will retrograde back to 1 degree of Aquarius until October 1st. This is a really big deal. If you have your birth charts, which I hope you do, I want you to look and see if you have anything from 3 down to 1 degrees, maybe 4, 1 to 4 degrees in the sign of Aquarius, and also in the fixed sign, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, I'm forgetting Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, girl. If you have anything in the early parts of the fixed signs, this is going to be hitting you in a specific way. It's going to be, kind of intense, right? This is a time to integrate a lot of the deep insights that we've been receiving over the past 2 years, or for some of us, the past 18 months, or the past year, or the past 8 years, right? But really, in the past 2 years, this whole story has been unfolding. So we want to really pay attention to those things and see the connections of all the things that have been happening, paying attention to the lessons that we've been learning about ourselves and what it feels like to walk in our authenticity. If we've been doing this work with Mars being in Cancer, this Mars and Pluto opposition, we've been doing a lot of shedding. Venus sitting next to Saturn, retrograde, we've been doing a lot of shedding. We have been taking off masks. We have stopped code switching. We have been doing it real and doing it raw, doing it vulnerably. We've been taking things off and we've been coming into our own light. And that is exactly what the powers that be want us to do, because we have a gift to give the world that doesn't look like anybody else's gift. I don't care if it's the same thing, same clothes, same shoes. Nobody gonna do it like you because don't nobody have your sauce. And we also get to see, when Pluto is stationing retrograde in Aquarius, the hidden and subtle ways that we are still performing, still in this performative energy. So we get to see that with this Pluto station in retrograde. And we always think that retrogrades are like, oh my God, they're bad. But all retrogrades are a gift because they slow us down so that we can look at something. And in Pluto, we get to look at something that is kind of blocking us, and we get to like excavate that out and discard or dismantle that so that we could heal and connect more to a whole place. So this is the time to reflect on what is evolving in a certain area of life, wherever you have Aquarius in your life, in your birth chart, and whatever house that Aquarius sign represents is where you are seeing a transformation and an evolution taking place. So you get to work with this transformation through shadow work, meditation, observing, honoring the ebbs and flows as the seasons come and go. So Aries season, we just on fire, but Taurus season is here now, and we are taking a walk. We're walking in nature. We're just going slow. We're waking up and we're just noticing how we feel. That's why it's good to wake up early, so you get to notice how you feel. I've been working on my stuff, so I mean, I'm talking to me too, but we are just always continuing this journey of self work, and there's always something else to uncover. And now we're uncovering a little bit more of how we can show up in our true authentic selves. So yeah, that's all I have for the week. Little recap: do what the body wants to do this week. Say less, do less, so that you can hear the body speak, so that you can take aligned action. You're not procrastinating, girl or guy, dad. You just don't want to do that shit. And if you are procrastinating, that may be a sign that it's time to ask for help. As hard as that can be for a lot of us, because, we're never meant to do all of these things that we think we're supposed to be doing alone. So love on yourself so you can know what lights you up. And yeah, that's all I have for this week. So y'all be good. And I'm going to see you next week. Okay, bye. You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast.